We have a brand new paper collection. It's called Paper Painting, and wait till you see it.
We've got lots of ribbons, buttons, flowers, dazzles,
Right.
papers.
All coordinated, all for you. Come play with us. Here is the collection. You can see it's just colorful. It's pretty.
Is
yes.
nice and bright and pretty.
We're going to start with the papers.
Of course.
So paper painting. Now this was the idea of Kyla, our lead art or our art director, and there are 12 sheets, of course, which is our standard 80-pound paper. Look at that. And the idea of paper painting is right here. So you can see that we've got the art on top, the line art, but it kind of looks like paper behind it, and just really fun. And then we've also got the line art around it, both borders.
I love that line art. It's sort of like doodling on top of colors, and I think that's just a beautiful look.
Really, really fun. And as you know, of course, the insert is going to give you scrapbook pages, it's going to give you card ideas, but we're going to give you some of that right now. The next page is kind of a scuffed. It's also got many layers of things going on. And it's so nice to have this type of art because, of course, it's going to give you matting and so forth to use on your pages. This is fun because there is a colorful border on this pink sheet, and again you can see the pattern. There's also a teal one that is very similar. Now of course you get 2 of each, so you can put these in a double page layout.
Or you can use 1 of each.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can use 2 of the same, so whichever you want. So that's fun. A stripe, isn't that just colorful? It kind of feels fiesta-ish, doesn't it? And then we have a micro dot with scuffing in this really fun kind of lemony lime. On the back side, you're going to see not only the pattern papers that are kind of tone on tone that are so useful, but you're also going to see a larger overall floral.
An echoing of that border that you saw on the front. So lots of mixing and matching available there.
And then a smaller of a similar. So all of that is going to go together. And what would you like?
Whatever you want to bring out for those ribbons. 12 ribbons and twine. So 36 inches each of the ribbons, 72 inches each of 2 different twines, and like a hot pink and a nice bright yellow. But as always, you're going to get like a sheer swirl. You're getting a sheer dot on this, a nice wide crepe, lots of different kinds of there's two different kinds of crepes you've got there. Here's that glitter ribbon, which is so nice. Twills and stitch, double stitch. So all of that, again, coordinating perfectly with the set.
Right, and these are curated so that they will coordinate. Something that I thought was so much fun was how the buttons go with it, and this is called Fiesta, and the colors are just perfect with this paper set. And I tell you that we orchestrated them to match, but we didn't. We did the papers, found the buttons, and thank you, Buttons Galore. Good job.
They had a perfect match for it.
We also have Dazzles, of course, as you would expect. 81 paper painting dazzles, and you can see all of the artwork. Of course, it's going to coordinate with the papers. You're going to get borders, focals, words. We put it all together in one package.
I love that it's black too, because it's going to fit in with that line work that you saw on the papers.
Do you see this one? Be creative every day. Words to live by, my friends. Then we're also going to have some flowers. You actually do get more than this. There are 4 in the package, and it's this pretty teal that's going to work so nicely. But let's get on to our first project, which is a scrapbook page. And our Gail did this, and I have to tell you, I think this is drop dead gorgeous.
Thank you.
And that big circle and her brilliant idea to let the dazzles go right around that circle. She used a template that we've had for quite a while, easy circles, and what's nice is it goes from 2 inches out to 11.5. No, you can't get cutting dies that large.
Well, this is, yeah, that's right, and this is very easy to use. So all of these different slots on here represent each one of those circles, and you're just going to trace around onto your paper, turn it, and then trace some more if you need to. And there you go. You have this beautiful circle. Then I was able to mat it, And right down here, here is the actual background paper. So you've got that piece that has this beautiful floral, and I just cut around that with my X-Acto knife, if you want to show that.
Yeah,
there
so
it
there's
is.
the shade here.
Yeah, so I cut around the butterfly, I cut around that floral, and then I slipped that entire piece with the photo on it behind that artwork. So now you've got that anchored in place. And if we back up to see the whole thing for just a second, you'll also notice this isn't right in the center of the page. It doesn't always have to be that way. You can take it off to a corner a little bit, let your eyes settle down here, and then you sort of zoom up to that nice little artwork with a few dazzles up there as well.
And you've done another circle, and this is on the all over patterned paper, and done some dazzles, which you've dazzles back here. You can see you've tucked them in, added this cluster of bows, which is very
all
fun.
All of the colors in those ribbons, so that works perfectly. Those teal flowers with the leaves that come with them, and embellishments, those fiesta buttons work great, just adding a little sparkle.
Two other things I want to point out on this is how this is kind of tucked in, but we've got one on top, so that's nice. And then the paper of the art, you saw the art, but this has got dazzles on top of it, which just works so well.
Right, really simple to do.
And with the sequins and the pearls and the buttons, it is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. Now, if you want to go a little more simply, this is going to work really well. Laugh as much as you breathe. That one said love as much as you breathe.
Yeah, so you can interchange.
Yeah. Now, in this one, you can see that great big piece, the words, we've got the border treatment at the top. So just using a few of the dazzles, but really fun and works so well. Actually putting them around the title also.
I like that. I like the borders just going on the top and bottom of just a strip of paper with your message on there. That's nice. And you notice down here, tiny little dazzles placed on each one of those little medallions and a few butterflies. So it's just nice for little accents.
Now, to do another way to use those dazzles and to really make them shine, look at this. So you can see the glitter behind that, and that was done with another technique. Look at that, isn't that pretty?
Silk microfine glitter. This is really simple to do, so let me just bring in the dazzles. Now, there are kind of a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to do it one way, and then we can talk about maybe there's another way to do it too. I started with, well, the person who did this card started with double-sided adhesive, so I've got that. And I've removed one side, so now that's sticky. I'm going to try to set that down.
And one thing I want to point out, this is not the double-sided adhesive that has the orange liner. That's a super sticky.
Right.
This has really just the right amount of adhesive to do this kind of process.
Right. And I'm going to go ahead and place the dazzle right on here and then add the glitter. I've seen it where we've done the glitter and then added the dazzles. I think both work. But we're going to do it this way. So there's my dazzle.
I do it the other way.
You do it the other. Like I said, I've seen both.
It works both ways.
It does work both ways. And then I'm going to add this right on top of there. So it's really easy to do. Just sprinkle on, and then you're going to burnish in. That's really all I'm going to need. That's actually way more than I'm going to need, because most of this is going to come off, and then you just start burnishing it in with your finger.
And that's actually the most important part, is to do that burnishing. And you're going to do it a couple of times, aren't you?
I'm going to do it once and then tap it off, move to another area, and start burnishing again. And now you're going to see more of it coming off, so you'll see more of the detail there. That's twice that I burnished.
And 3 seems to be the magic number.
It really is. So there is 3. On the third one, I'm making sure that I'm really concentrating on the dazzle. I don't care about those edges. They're all going to be cut off.
Right. And you see how little comes off, but yet some does. So
Right.
this way you won't be wearing it.
Right. So that'll come off of the dazzle. And then you're going to take your scissors and go ahead and cut around those outer edges. You should actually be able to lift the antenna on there so that you can go underneath them there, like so.
Right, because you don't need to.
You don't want to cut those off. And if we look back at the card,
here it is, just like that, and the antenna. So again, make it easier on yourself. You don't need to have that. You don't have to cut around those. But isn't that pretty?
Beautiful.
And of course, with all the colors of the microfine glitter, you can play with that. And on the inside, oh, we have that side shadow, sideways butterfly.
And I love using that border paper, or this might be the overall paper, because it was cut out and then just placed on the yellow, so you're getting that nice yellow.
You can get your garden wherever you want it.
Right.
Very pretty. Now, that was one way to do them. Here is another. And this is using pattern paper.
It is using pattern paper. So first of all, I love that combination, the strips down at the bottom, the yellow. You've got lots of ribbons and dazzles there, highlighting everything.
The cluster is gorgeous. And that's a nice thing to remember, to do the clusters like that. With these varying size items, you can really do a beautiful job.
Creates quite a bit of interest. The butterfly itself is done separately, so you can actually lift the wings. You can see so that behind there was just a piece of paper with the borders going around there. And then this butterfly starts like this. So the butterfly on pink paper, and then you can get Spectrum Noir pens. The set that was used here were the blues and the reds. So I've got the reds, and I'm just going to briefly show how you can go around and start coloring in just right where you want color. And on that butterfly you saw, there's just a little bit of blue, there's a little bit of red, you've got some oranges in there, so go around and add colors wherever you like, make that a beautiful look. But then when you're done, get out your clear Wink of Stella pen and add a little glitter. So really simple to just add some pretty sparkle on there. I'm just going to do it right there. You can go over the whole thing. It'll wipe off of the Dazzle actually very easily, but it will stay on that paper. So pretty.
Nice, nice. And of course it gets a little more sparkly as it dries, and you can see it there. There's the blue. It looks a little dark teal because it was on the pink paper. So, but I like the pattern paper. It gives more depth, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on the inside, again, unique is better than perfect. Words to live by.
Plus, using the pattern paper for those Dazzles gives you a color already there. This one, I think it was just barely colored in, just mostly the paper.
Yeah, I think it's practically all the paper. So really, really nice. Okay, we have one more. And this is giving us yet another look. So you can see that the Dazzles are just each placed on paper, cut out.
And then there's a nice focal because the design toolkit number 4 was used. And I think that's the book plate label right there. Or here.
There you go.
Right there. There we go.
So that was used
so use that on those papers. I think design toolkits really are invaluable. You can make, okay, you want this to be your focal, but you feel like, well, it's not kind of big enough to fill up the whole card. So then you have that label from a design toolkit to put behind it, and perfect. Start adding some Dazzles off the edge. This was foam taped in place, and it gives a little lift to those wings.
And this one is made to be so that you can add whatever greeting you want, any personal note.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so gorgeous. So this is what paper painting is all about.
Absolutely.
And all the collections of things and all the things that you can do with it.
Well, bright and
some
it's
of the
fun, and you will be able to do lots more than we showed you here today.
Absolutely. Have fun with it.